Let me ask you something honest. How much do you earn right now? Take a second. Think about that number. Your monthly salary, or your annual package. Whatever it is, you worked for it. You showed up. You delivered. You earned it. Now let me ask you a second question. Are you rich? Not comfortable. Not okay. Not, I can pay my bills and treat myself occasionally. I mean genuinely financially free. Could you stop working tomorrow and never worry about money again? For most people watching this, the answer is no. And here's what makes that strange. You've been told your entire life that your salary is the answer. Get a good job, climb the ladder, earn more. That's the path. But if the salary was supposed to make us rich, why hasn't it? Today, we're going to dismantle the single biggest financial lie most people carry without even realizing it. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly what wealthy people actually do differently. Because it's almost never what you think. Here's what most people believe about money. If I earn more, I'll have more. If I have more, I'll save more. If I save more eventually, I'll be set. It sounds reasonable. It even sounds logical. But there's a flaw hiding inside it. Here's what actually happens. You get a raise. You celebrate. You upgrade your car because you deserve it. You move to a nicer apartment because you can afford it now. You eat out more, buy better things, take a slightly nicer holiday. 6 months later, you have the exact same feeling about money that you had before the raise. That feeling has a name. Economists call it lifestyle inflation. Some call it lifestyle creep. But whatever you call it, the mechanism is the same. Your spending quietly rises to match your income every time. And here's the brutal part. This isn't a character flaw. It's not laziness or weakness. It's actually how human beings are wired. We adapt. We normalize. The new salary stops feeling like more and starts feeling like normal. So you work harder to earn more and end up in exactly the same psychological position you were in before. This is why there are people earning 3, 4, 5 times the average salary who are still living paycheck to paycheck. It sounds impossible. It's actually incredibly common. The salary isn't the problem, by the way. Salaries are fine. They're useful. They're how most of us survive. The problem is believing that your salary is also your wealth-building engine. It isn't. It never was. Your salary is income. Wealth is something else entirely. Let me explain the difference between income and wealth, because this is where everything changes. Income is what flows in. Wealth is what stays. Think about it this way. Imagine 2 people, both earn the same salary. Let's say $80,000 a year. Person A spends $78,000. Person B spends $60,000 and puts $20,000 to work. 10 years later, Person A has 10 years of experience and a great lifestyle. Person B has those things too, and something else, something that has been quietly growing on its own, independent of whether they showed up to work or not. That's the real gap, not income, assets. Wealthy people think differently about money, not because they're smarter or luckier, but because they've understood one fundamental principle that most people never get taught. You can only work so many hours. But money doesn't sleep. When you put money into assets, investments, property, business index funds, that money starts working in parallel with you. It compounds. It earns returns. It generates more money, which then generates more money. Your salary on its own can only scale linearly. More hours, more money. Stop working, income stops. Assets scale differently. They work without you. They grow while you sleep, while you're on holiday, while you're sick, while you're old and done working. This is what the genuinely wealthy understand that most salary earners don't. Building wealth is not about what you earn. It's about what you keep and what you put to work. So why don't more people do this? Why do smart, hardworking, educated people spend decades earning good salaries and still end up without real financial freedom? 3 traps. You might recognize yourself in at least one. Trap number 1, the consumption trap. We are surrounded every single day by things designed to get us to spend money. Advertising, social media, culture, all of it is pushing you toward consumption. And spending feels good. It feels like reward. It feels like progress, even when it's the opposite. The person who drives a modest car and lives in a sensible home on a high salary looks boring. The person who drives a luxury car and wears expensive clothes on the same salary looks successful. We've confused the signals of wealth with actual wealth. Trap number 2. The debt trap. Consumer debt is one of the most effective tools ever invented for keeping people financially stuck. Credit cards, car loans, buy now, pay later. Each of these lets you live ahead of your income, but the cost is that money leaves your future to pay for your present. Every pound or rupee or dollar going toward high-interest debt is money that cannot be invested. It cannot compound. It works against you, not for you. Trap number 3. The waiting trap. This one is the quietest and probably the most expensive. I'll start saving properly when I earn more. I'll invest when I have more to invest. I'll sort out my finances when things settle down. Time is the most valuable ingredient in wealth building. Because of compounding, the way money grows on itself, a small amount invested early is almost always worth more than a larger amount invested later. Every year you wait, you lose compounding years you can never get back. Waiting doesn't just delay wealth, it permanently reduces it. Okay, so if the salary alone won't do it, what will? Let's get specific. Because vague financial advice is everywhere. Spend less than you earn. Invest early. Think long-term. Great, thanks. That helps no one. Here's what actually builds wealth. Broken down practically. Step 1. Create a gap and protect it. Wealth building starts with a margin. The difference between what you earn and what you spend. Without a gap, there is nothing to build with. The goal isn't deprivation. The goal is intentionality. Know what you spend. Understand where your money goes. Cut the things that don't actually improve your life. Not the things that matter to you, but the automatic, unconsidered spending that just happens. Even a 10 or 15% gap to start with is enough. The size of the gap matters less than the consistency of it. Step 2. Eliminate high-interest debt aggressively. Before you invest in anything else, destroy your expensive debt. Credit cards, personal loans, anything above 7 or 8% interest, because no investment reliably returns more than the guaranteed loss of high-interest debt. Pay that off first. Then you have clear runway. Step 3. Build a foundation before you invest. Before you put money into the market, build an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, sitting somewhere accessible. This isn't exciting, but it prevents you from having to sell your investments at the worst possible time, which is what happens to people who invest without a safety net. Step 4. Invest consistently in boring things. Here's an uncomfortable truth about investing. The boring approach tends to win. Low-cost index funds, consistent monthly contributions, long-time horizon, not trying to pick the next big stock, not chasing trends, just slowly, steadily, letting the market do its thing over decades. The people who get rich from investing aren't usually the ones who make brilliant moves. They're the ones who make consistent, unglamorous moves and leave them alone. Step 5. Think about income differently. Your salary is one income stream. It doesn't have to be the only one. A second stream, freelance work, a side project, dividends from investments, rental income, doesn't just add money. It diversifies your financial life. If one stream slows, another continues. This doesn't mean burning yourself out with 3 jobs. It means being thoughtful about building something, however small, that earns without depending entirely on your presence. I want to pause here, because we've talked about tactics, but tactics without the right foundation don't stick. The deepest shift isn't about what you invest in or how much you save. It's about how you see yourself in relation to money. Most people treat money as something that happens to them. It comes in, it goes out, they try to manage it, they feel vaguely anxious about it, and they hope it works out eventually. Wealthy people, not necessarily high earners, but genuinely wealthy people, treat money as something they're in charge of. It's a resource to be directed. Every pound, every rupee, every dollar has a job. Either it spends or it works. That shift in thinking, from passive to active, changes every financial decision you make. You stop making purchases on autopilot. You stop waiting for more income before you start building. You stop assuming that comfort now is the same thing as security later. You start asking different questions. Not, can I afford this, but does this serve my future? Not, how much do I earn, but how much of what I earn is working for me? Wealth isn't a destination. It's a practice. It's a set of habits, repeated consistently, over a long enough time that the results become undeniable. So let's bring this full circle. Your salary is not going to make you rich, not because there's something wrong with it, not because you don't earn enough, but because a salary by itself is just income, and income spent entirely on living is a treadmill that never ends. What builds wealth is different. It's the gap you create and protect. It's the debt you eliminate. It's the assets you accumulate, slowly, patiently, consistently. It's understanding that money put to work early compounds into something your future self will genuinely thank you for. None of this requires being extraordinary. It doesn't require perfect timing, or insider knowledge, or a six-figure income. It requires understanding how money actually works, and then deciding to work with it, instead of just through it. The salary trap is real, but it's only a trap if you stay in it. You now know the way out.